The University of Ghana last week closed its doors for 3 days following 2 separate bomb threats at the institution. But while UG remained closed last week, the administration of the institution met to discuss matters as it pertains to the security of the campus. UG's Vice-Chancellor, Professor Ivelaw Griffith, along with Deputy Commissioners Lyndon Alves, Maxine Graham, and other members of the university's administration, held a press conference to announce several security changes starting Wednesday. Professor Griffith admitted that prior to the 2 threats made to the school, the campus's security arrangements were overlooked. This, he affirmed, will all change in 2 days.
We have a very lackluster approach to having and displaying our IDs as students or staff. We have to change that approach. Beginning Wednesday, everyone will have to display an ID. If you don't have your staff or student ID, you'll have to have some other form of identification to gain access to the campus.
The new security arrangement will be temporary. Professor Griffith stated that at the end of the first 2 weeks, the administration will do a full assessment and decide whether there is a need for any modifications to the security arrangement. Vehicles entering the Turkine campus will also be subjected to the security arrangements.
We also are relatively open in terms of vehicles that don't have identification. We are going to be taking a stronger approach to ensuring that vehicles that don't have a UG sticker have a way of identifying at least who the driver and the passengers in those vehicles are. We have significant amount of traffic at our south gate with very little check for IDs. We're going to be restricting the access to the south gate only to people who can show an ID. Visitors and others without an ID will have to come to use the main gate, stop at the security, tender an ID, get a visitor's pass before we can access the campus.
When questioned by Nightly News about the current arrangements with minibus operators and how the new arrangement will affect their services, Professor Griffith had this to say.
We've got a protocol already for the minibuses, and we'll manage that protocol with a few variations. The protocol that exists is that the minibuses that have a sticker will be allowed to come in. They will drop their passengers off at the security lodge. They will come to this building and turn around. We will expect that the people who are in there, whether they are students or staff, will have an ID. We'll have a check. Whomever in the minibuses does not have an ID will have to go to the security lodge, get a visitor's pass by way of turning in some form of identification. So we anticipate that will be the protocol for the minibuses as well as for any taxis.
Professor Griffith stated that while he anticipates some amount of discomfort by students of the university, visitors and current students are being asked to arrive at school earlier than they usually do for classes.
We will just have to manage that discomfort, but we are not going to be destabilized in enabling the educational project for the students and the lecturers who work with them to take its full course.
Javon Vickery, HGP Nightly News.